I bought the iPhone 8 Plus back in 2018, and for more than 7 years I used it every single day. Just one phone, until this year. Now in 2025 I finally upgraded to the iPhone 17. And while this phone is incredible, this video isn't about the iPhone 17 specs. Instead, I want to share the lessons I learned from waiting so long until upgrading the iPhone. Lessons that can help you as a learner, developer, beginner, and maybe even save a lot of money. I started my day at the Apple Store in Vienna, excited to check out the new iPhones. Even though the older 16 Pro models are no longer available, I wanted to see what the lineup feels like now. First up, I tried the iPhone 17. Honestly, it felt amazing. Not too big, everything within easy reach, really comfortable in my hand. Then I tested the iPhone Air. It's definitely slim, but I expected it to be a little thinner. Still, it has a sleek design. Now the iPhone 17 Pro, not really my style. The colors are a bit tricky and they didn't click with me. But the iPhone 17 in black immediately caught my attention. The only downside, the demo unit already had visible wear and scratches, even though it was just released a few days ago. Same story with the Pro models. Some had marks in the back, which was surprising. I compared the iPhone Air with the 17, and honestly, the tiny bit of thinness you get with the Air, I'd rather have that extra space used for battery life in the 17. So my choice was clear, the iPhone 17. The Silver Pro looked nice, but I really wanted the black 17. Unfortunately, it was sold out at the store. So I headed to another location. At first they only had the 17 Pro in blue. But eventually I managed to get my hands on the iPhone 17 in black. Mission accomplished. Back in 2018 I walked into an Apple store with one goal: to get an iPhone that would last. I could have gone for the iPhone 10 or iPhone X that everyone was talking about with the new notch. But something about the iPhone 8 Plus spoke to me. The size, the form factor, the design and the Touch ID, the simplicity. And I had no idea how long it would stick with me. Over the years, that phone became more than just a device. It was my travel companion. From the ancient ruins of Machu Picchu to the desert of Egypt, from chasing the northern lights in Norway to late-night coding sessions, it captured pictures, held my notes, let me watch tutorials, and even helped me by practice coding on the go. Fast forward 7 years, here I am with the iPhone 17, a completely new device packed with insane specs and features. And yet I realized something important. This video isn't about the iPhone 17. It's about what I've learned by sticking with my old phone, about patience, focus, and knowing when you really need to upgrade. So if you have ever felt the pressure to buy the newest gadget or wondered whether it's worth upgrading every year, stick around, because this is my story, and it might just change how you think about your tech. When I bought the iPhone 8 Plus, it felt like a monster. It had a big screen, Touch ID, and at the time, amazing performance. At the same time, the iPhone 10 or X was released, but I went with the 8 Plus due to the form factor and Touch ID, and the bigger battery. I carried this phone through so many parts of my life. I used it to read documentation on the train, to check Stack Overflow during lectures, and to watch some motivational content on YouTube on the go. Over the years, of course, it started showing its age. The battery wouldn't last a full day anymore. The camera looked outdated compared to newer phones. Apps felt slower, but there's the thing. It still worked. I could text, call, read articles and watch tutorials on YouTube, and even use coding apps to practice programming and learn the fundamentals of software development. For a developer and computer science teacher, that's all I really needed. You know, there is something interesting I noticed. Most people upgrade their phones for consumer reasons. They want a better camera, a sharper screen, or the newest design that makes them feel like they're keeping up with the times. And I get it. New tech is exciting. It feels good to hold something shiny and powerful in your hands. But as a computer science teacher and developer, I started to think differently. Do I need a better camera to write code? No. Do I need Face ID to deploy my projects? Definitely not. Do I need a titanium frame to push anything on GitHub? Not at all. What I actually needed was stability, reliability, and a tool that wouldn't fail me in the middle of my daily workflow. And that's where the mindset shift really happens. When you're just starting out as a programmer, it's so tempting to believe that buying the newest gadget and fully specced out MacBook or the most powerful machine will somehow make you better at coding. You see people online showing off dual monitors, mechanical keyboards, and the latest setups, and you start to think that's what success looks like. Of course, there are situations where having more RAM or a faster processor actually matters, like when you're using large language models or testing heavy apps. But for most beginner programmers, these high-end specs don't make you better at problem solving or learning the fundamentals. What really counts is practice, consistency, and knowing how to make the tools you already have work for you. What matters most is not the gear on its own. What matters is your ability to think critically, to solve problems, and to keep learning, no matter what machine you're using. Your tools are just your tools. They don't define your skills. Now let's talk about why waiting so long to upgrade actually paid off. First, the obvious one, money. If I had bought a new iPhone every second year, from the iPhone 10 all the way to the iPhone 16, I would have spent thousands of extra dollars. Instead, I bought one phone, used it to the ground, and now upgraded when I truly needed it. That's money I invested in other tech gear, books, or even saved for bigger projects. Second, the environment. Every new device means more e-waste, more manufacturing, more impact. By holding onto my phone, I wasn't just saving money, I was reducing my footprint in a small but real way. Third, and maybe most importantly, focus. Every time you upgrade, you have to set up your apps again, transfer data, get used to the new features, and so on. That can be exciting, sure, but it's also a distraction. With my 8 Plus, there was no excitement. It was just a tool. It worked and I used it. That stability actually helped me stay focused on learning to code, instead of obsessing over the newest gadget. So, why did I finally upgrade now? Honestly, my old phone was dying. The battery couldn't hold up anymore. Apps were starting to crash and iOS updates weren't available anymore. As a result, apps didn't work. For security reasons and to ensure my phone would keep up working reliably, I decided it was finally time to get a new one. But there's the key. This is not a review. I'm not here to convince you that you need these specs. I'm mentioning them because it highlights the gap between my 7-year-old phone and today's technology. Yes, the leap is huge, but do you really need to make that leap every single year? That's the question I want you to think about.